Alright, whenever you're ready.
Welcome to the final edition of the Simpson Storm Coaches Show. I am Zach James, and we are here joined today by head football coach Jim Glogowski. Coach, how are we doing?
Good.
You guys didn't finish out the way you wanted to, but it was still a successful season thus far. What was the impact that the seniors brought to the team during the whole year?
Well, their leadership I thought was tremendous. I thought the things that we were trying to accomplish as a program, they were able to institute some of those things to the younger guys. And ultimately, we didn't end up the way we wanted to on Saturday, but I thought overall, especially the last 5-6 weeks of the season, we started to play the kind of football that we're capable of, and that's very exciting for the future.
If there was one final message you would tell them, what would it be?
Well, I think the biggest thing they took from this is the whole reason why they play college football, especially at the Division III level. If you stay with it, you keep plugging, get after it every day, good things will happen.
What did you tell the guys in the locker room after the game?
Well, we just talked about how proud I was of them. Obviously there was a point in the season where we won in 3, and ultimately had a little bit of a gut check, and I thought our kids responded really well. And the things that I saw happen in the last 4 or 5 weeks are the things that I expect to continue in the future. The ability to execute on offense and make stops on defense and big plays in the kicking game. And obviously the teams that we lost to all finished ahead of us in the league schedule. The 2 non-conference teams that we did play, I think, finished 16-4.
Wow!
So we had a pretty good slate of schedule of games this year, and I think we responded well. Obviously, we'd like to play a little bit better at some of those games and have a few moments back, but that's not how life works. And so you do the best you can with what you're given, and you handle what comes at you, and you go from there.
How important was that 4-game winning streak to this team?
Well, I think it was huge, and obviously this is my 4th year here, and to have some success and to do things the right way and to beat some teams we hadn't beaten and shut somebody out. It's been almost 10 years since our last shutout. So some of those things that we did as a team and as a program were certainly positive, and we look forward to building on it.
What did you learn most about this team over the course of the fall?
Well, I just I didn't really learn a whole lot in terms of, I knew who they were. And it was just nice for everybody else to see that too. And I think sometimes we get caught up in the wins and losses that certainly say a lot about that football team, but I saw those kids for 4 years as leaders and as seniors and as young men, and so I wasn't necessarily surprised by what they were able to do. I just was content and happy that they were able to have some success.
I think I know the answer to this one, but if there was one game that stands out to you, which one would that be?
Well, obviously probably the Wartburg win. That was a big win, and the way it probably happened is probably the biggest thing. And some folks have asked me about that game, and I don't know if it's so much the fact that we hadn't beat them in a while, but it had more to do with the way the game ended, the fashion of coming back from down 17 with 14 minutes to go or whatever it was. So that's probably the biggest game. And if you go 10-0, you probably still remember that game just for the way it ended.
Who was the most improved player this year?
Wow, that's a good question. There was a lot of them. There really were. I thought our offensive line played well as a whole. I thought we had some more consistent play at quarterback. I thought we defensively, as the year went on, we got better and better, especially I think in the back end on the secondary. We did some better things as the year went on. But overall, I thought all of our kids stepped up their level of play a little bit, and that was probably the most exciting thing to see.
If there was one game ball you could give to anybody this year for MVP, who would that be?
Wow, I don't know. It's tough. That's a tough question because I think there was a lot of great performances this year, and obviously I don't want to dwell on being 5-5 because that's not where we want to be. Right. And so we were disappointed by not having a true winning record and not having a chance to win the conference championship and go to the playoffs. But in all, the league champion was 7-1 and we were 5-3, and so I think we made some great strides. And last year we finished 2-6 in the league, and this year we were 5-3. And at our level, you've got to win your league to get to the playoffs. And there's only one team that's still playing right now, and that's Dubuque, and they earned it. They were 9-1, and all the accolades that go with that. And so, as I told our kids, if you want to be playing in late November, you've got to take care of business in September. It just can't happen in the last 5 weeks.
Where will the focus be as you start off-season recruiting?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just trying to replace those guys that we lost. And I think we've got a lot of quality candidates within our program already. I think for the most part we've done a pretty good job recruiting and stocking the shelves, so to speak. And we'll have another big senior class next year, and I expect those kids to step up. And if they do the things that this class did, we've got a chance to make some real strides.
Finally, how can the guys build off of this year for next year as they dwell in the off-season?
The biggest thing they have to take from this season is this is what you have to do on a consistent basis to be successful. You come off a big win, you've got to go back on the road. You play Luther, you've got to win on the road. You come back home after a bye week, you got to get back on the horse and play well against BV. And so in this league, anybody can beat anybody, and that's true. There's a lot of close games in this league this year, and so it's just a fact of preparing every week. And it doesn't matter who you play, you've got to have the preparation down pat every week.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a successful season and best of luck next season.
Thank you.
For the Simpson Storm Coaches Show, I'm Zach James.